Hey guys, Guy with the Camera 23 back again with this week's First Watch, which is First Watch number 12. God, for quite a long time now. Now it's a pretty drizzly Saturday afternoon. This is a bit early, but I didn't really want to wait till kind of later on in the evening to do this because there is a film I want to watch later, and it's quite a long film. So yeah, I'd say it's been snowing all day more or less. I mean, it's stopped now, but it could start at any time. And I'm in a bit of a comedy mood today because I've had enough of watching kind of really serious films for a while, I think. This week I'm going to go with what was widely regarded as the best, or one of the best comedies of last year, one of the biggest surprises of last year. It stars Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, and it is 21 Jump Street. Now, big fan of, big comedy fan. Jonah Hill, I can kind of take it or leave it. I really like Superbad, but that's the only really film that I really like him in. And like I said, people say this is really good, so I'm really looking forward to checking this out. I mean, I don't know what kind of review I'm going to be able to do, because what kind of review can you do for a comedy film? It's like, is it funny? Yes, that's all you can do, really. But I'll give it a go. I mean, what more can be said, really? It's a comedy film, I want to watch it, let's watch it. Yep, well, I have the main menu for 21 Jump Street, very retro, I guess you could call it. Yeah, as always, I'll watch the film and give you my thoughts afterwards, so I'll see you at the end. Well, there we have the ending credits for 21 Jump Street. That was a really good film. Give me a couple of seconds and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So, yep, see you in a sec. Yep, so just finished watching 21 Jump Street. Got a really funny film. Really surprised me how good this film is. Basic plot is Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum play these guys who used to go to high school together. Jonah Hill was kind of the Eminem-like nerd guy, and he was the jock who didn't. Channing Tatum was the jock who didn't. He wasn't very good at his studies. He gets expelled, and basically they both become police cops, and they kind of realise kind of who each other is. They kind of become partners, and basically they arrest someone, but they don't read him his Miranda rights, so he gets let off. And basically, they're made to go to this place called 21 Jump Street, which is basically their program. Is they get kind of younger looking cops to pose as high school students to kind of go undercover to kind of discover these different things, and they get made to go undercover in a high school. In fact, there's this new drug going around that they need to kind of find out who's supplying it, who's making it, and who's kind of distributing it. And that's the basic plot of the film. Really good acting in this. Channing Tatum obviously isn't kind of best known for comedy roles, but I think he did a commendable job in this. Really, really funny. He gets a lot of the big lines, a lot of big laughs even. So does Jonah Hill as well. Obviously, Jonah Hill's been in quite a lot of comedy films since Superbad, and in my opinion, this is the best comedy film since Superbad. It's really funny. It's like non-stop. There wasn't one bit in this film where I wasn't either smiling or laughing out loud. Again, just really good story, really good directing. I think David Gordon Green can learn a lot from this film of how to kind of direct a really good comedy action film, because most of the films he makes is either just comedy film, like comedy crime films aren't that good sometimes, but most of the bad ones are directed by him. But I don't really dislike him. I just don't really like his films. They're all the same. It's like it's either have a comedy or an action film, but don't kind of make it too much action and not enough comedy, or too much comedy and not enough action. It just doesn't work. But this one really does. Was it Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I think it is. I think they directed another film. I'm not sure which one that was. And Dave Franco plays the drug dealer. Obviously, he's the brother of James Franco, and he's also in Superbad. I remember when they're playing soccer, and he goes, "Yeah, Greg, why don't you wedge yourself again? Because that was 8 years ago, asshole. But people don't forget." He was that kid in that, and he really did a pretty good job in this. I think he was in something else kind of recently playing a bad guy, but I might be wrong. But the film just perfectly marries kind of comedy and action in just a really good way. Nick Offerman there's only one scene in this, but that scene is really funny. And he goes, they're going to 37 Jump Street. Oh, wait, that's not right. And it transitions to where they're going. It's just great. And also, I honestly think that he should be in like every single American comedy film from now on. It just kind of annoys me that someone like that is in not many films, and kind of Melissa McCarthy is in like every single fucking American comedy film like ever made since Bridesmaids, more or less. Really annoys me. But then she annoys me as well. The main thing I love about this film was the fact that it's self-aware. It kind of makes fun of all the cliches of kind of comedy films and cop films. There's a really good kind of monologue in here about how they reuse all the same shit and never kind of have any originality, obviously taking the piss out of itself. And I say it doesn't take itself too seriously either. Yeah, there's kind of good kind of action scenes in it, but it has a lot of comedy, a lot of really good funny lines. And then the thing I kind of noticed quite a lot with these American films is that they have like these like one-liners, and they more or less all come from Jonah Hill, which kind of, and it's like some of them are funny, but some of them just don't really work at all. Like you see on these like kind of Blu-rays, these thing called liner armor, where they kind of use like alternate lines for these comedy things. It just doesn't. I mean, some of it does work, but some of it just doesn't. Yeah, it's based on I think it was an 80s TV show, and there's a cameo in here which I'm not going to spoil, but you can kind of more or less guess. I mean, I actually kind of knew about it before I saw it, but it's still pretty funny. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Just really funny film, just constantly joke after joke after joke. A lot of good action kind of mixed in there. I love the bit where they're in that big car chase and like nothing, and all these things like they never blow up, and then that was like a chicken shack kind of blows. I thought it was pretty funny. But again, it's a really funny film. Doesn't take itself too seriously whatsoever. If you're kind of skeptical about whether you like this, I mean, yeah, you might not like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you do. But give it a chance. If you don't think it's going to be kind of the film for you, just give it a chance. I mean, I didn't really particularly think that I'd like it, but I ended up really liking it. Really surprising how much I did like it. So yeah, give it a very solid 9 out of 10. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, really go and see it. You'll probably enjoy it. So yeah, so that has been episode 12 in First Watch, which has been 21 Jump Street. It's going to be Blu-rays in my collection from the near future. Might be one or two theatrical releases, I'm not quite sure. But again, please rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.